get to the Congress people, and then that's going to lead more people to come up behind them.
Okay. Have you heard? Did you see the interview that he did on NBC with Lester Holt?
I read some of it. Something about him saying that he believes he saved lives that day or something.
Well, he said he thought he was like a hero, or he reacted courageously or something like that, which I thought was odd. I mean, can you imagine an interview where a cop like shot somebody unarmed and they're like, "Oh, I believe I acted courageously." They're never doing that. They're like doing their best to like grovel, right? They're not doing. They're not like. Well, not just that, but hold on. Plus, I mean, did you watch? I watched it, and for one, his body language to me was just weird. Like he almost like he knew everything he was saying was just total bullshit. And on top of that, he admitted that he didn't like see that like she was armed or anything. And he also admitted he was surprisingly, Esther Holt asked him about the fact that no other police who were in much crazier situations felt the need to use deadly force. And his response to that was so odd. He was like, "Well, I can't speak for them." And like everything he said seemed very scripted too. And I don't. You thought everything was on the up and up with this guy on that? Just on that point?
Well, I didn't watch the interview. I read some of it, but like I'm not interested in talking about the interview. I'm interested in talking about the facts around the situation when Ashli Babbitt got shot. That's what I came into the Footsteps to talk about.
Okay. Well, she was not armed. She was 90 pounds. She was like the smallest person in that room, actually. If you look, she was like this. Yeah. Oh, damn it. Well, basically, she presented no threat. Like, she's one person crawling through a tiny window. She can easily be tackled and arrested, or subdued some other way. Like, mace her, shoot mace at her. I mean.
Wait, that's the thing. Is that she wasn't just one person. She was a part of a mob.
It was not a mob. It was like maybe a dozen people in there. And I mean, I've seen the video. They're like arguing. They're like talking and arguing and protesting and stuff. It's like.
Well, they're also using flagpoles to break down multiple windows, not just that one. They were working on all of the windows and trying to get through the door that was barricaded with the furniture.
Okay, and so what? Like these Congress people, you're saying that you can see Congress people. You don't know who you're seeing for one in that video.
Yeah, no,
they were evacuated. Like there was no threat to them. This is a group of unarmed people.
The video circles a guy in the hallway, in the doorway down the hallway that they were trying to get into, and labels him as one of the Democratic Congress people.
Okay. Well, why is he hanging around if he feels so threatened? Why isn't he evacuating?
They were working on it.
And let me ask you this: why, when and see, you say you're this not talking about Ashli Babbitt. Well, it is about Ashli Babbitt because why, when Democrats raided the Supreme Court to try and stop the Democratic action of confirming the Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, they invaded like violently and like tried to stop it.
So again,
nobody was shot. They didn't even evacuate.
You know what the hypocrisy fallacy is?
It's not. I'm trying to base like what standards are we going off of here? Because they seem to be totally shifted depending on party, which is just like everything. It's like the virus. Like you can do whatever you want outside as long as you're a left winger, then you're good. But if you're not, then Dr. Fauci is going to come out after you.
Do you know why pointing out hypocrisy is a fallacy? Is a logical fallacy?
I'm not pointing out hypocrisy. I'm trying to establish standards here. Like, what are the standards? Because you're warping and bending and shifting depending on the politics involved.
So I don't know what the situation between the Supreme Court thing was. Because we're talking about Ashli Babbitt, and
that's another problem. You don't know a lot, unfortunately. You don't have the perspective, I guess. Like you don't remember when thousands of Democrats tried to attack Bush's motorcade, and they literally had to speed off.
So, and they got the president to safety. The president was inside of a limo, bulletproof limo. But anyways, the last time we had this conversation, when I looked up the Supreme Court thing, there were instances in which the people ended up inside of the chambers.
Well, there's video of it. There's video of it.
Yeah. That was open to the public. Those people who got this, yes, that was open to the public. These were not. And these weren't violent mobs. These were individual protesters that were in there as a part of the audience for the proceedings.
See,
they got up and started yelling.
You see, it's because you're not programmed to be threatened by their politics and their shouting and their violence to get in. So it's different when they do it.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is that in the case of the mobs that were going after Congress, they were actually being violent against people. Those same mobs. It might not have been the exact same people, but they were all part of the same group. So there was reason to be people of the Congress people's lives. They literally brought a guillotine to this place, and we're
whatever,
stuff,
dude.
Like,
that's like standard fare. Again, standard fare for Democrats. Like, dude.
Wait, were they not doing that?
Huh?
Were they not saying things like hang Mike Pence? Did they not bring a guillotine?
Dude,
is those things not true?
Okay, you're young, so you don't have the perspective again. Like George W. Bush, the assassinating George W. Bush and Donald Trump was very mainstream, and effigies that are with nooses around their necks or being burned and this kind of thing. That's so standard fare for any left-wing gathering. This is another thing with January 6th. They're trying to convince us that things that are, again, this is why I'm talking about standards and why we have to establish consistent standards, because these things are things that are completely normal, like a big group with flags protesting outside the Capitol. There's nothing crazy about that, but they act like it's, oh my God, look what's happening. Look at these people and they're trumping American flags. Oh, the American flag is racist now and all this kind of crap. Dude, this is programming that they're trying to do. They want you to think that the only legitimate protest is one that they are behind. The only legitimate president is one that they elect. I don't. How can you not see? This is why I'm not trying to prove that you're a hypocrite. I'm trying to establish what the standards are, because, like I just said, they warp and shift depending on the politics around it.
I don't know whose standards. My standards. If the people are in actual danger, if the
you are parroting MSNBC.
Yes, you're probably justified to use lethal force. But I would actually go for general public. If somebody is in danger, then yeah, you're probably authorized to use lethal force. But for the Capitol Police, that goes doubly.
I don't understand how you're dismissing any other option outside of deadly force for Ashli Babbitt. Clearly, anything. There is plenty that could have been done. The police that were in front of her in front of the door and behind her, we know that those fully geared cops were up behind her somewhere over there. They could have all arrested her. She was given no commands. She was given no commands or anything. Michael Berg claims that he was shouting, "Stop! Stop! Get it!" But he's hiding behind a corner, behind doors, and amongst all these people who are shouting, it's really loud. You can't just shoot somebody who doesn't even know that they're being given orders. I'm sorry, dude.
His job was to keep the mob from getting into the chambers where Congress people were.
No.
Would you agree or disagree?
Just stop. They were evacuated. There was no Congress people that were in any freaking danger. No. Yeah, I don't see any proof of that. I don't. No.
Okay. Do you want me? I'll post it. I'll post it.
Post what? That they are in danger?
The video clearly showed that there was a Democratic congressman still inside that hallway.
Why? Why was he there? Why wasn't he evacuating?
They were evacuating.
But he was there, but he was hanging out just watching?
No, they were getting out.
Who was getting him out? So I thought the only guy behind the line was that one cop with a gun.
And I said that it's possible that they could have had personal escort, but that guy's job was
Dude, you're just filling in the blanks. You're just you're creating fan fiction to rationalize it to yourself. You're okay.
Hold on. Wait,
which is exactly what the media does. They give you that justification for you. They've already done it.
Wait, so if a congressperson's life is in danger, do you not think that people are justified to using lethal force?
See, it pisses me off that you're asking me that question, because you were defending Jacob Blake. You say that you stopped doing that once you found out he was trying to kidnap the kids, but you were defending him before that. You were defending him before that. So, what the fuck? This is why we have to establish standards.
Well, wait. Yes, I was just defending him before that because I didn't have all the facts, and then you showed me the rest of the facts, and I changed my mind on it. But you haven't shown me any facts that's going to change my mind in this situation.
What? I mean, what facts would change your mind about this? Like, there's none. Like, the fact is she was unarmed. She wasn't presenting a threat that absolutely needed deadly force.
It wasn't just about Ashley, it was about the mob in its entirety.
It was not. It was like a dozen people, dude. Not even that. I don't even know if it was a dozen. And we established that there were fully geared special officers that were there behind them. They were there. I showed you the picture.
They had just gotten there, yes.
Oh, so now it's like, oh, well, they just got there conveniently right at that moment. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
They were on their way when backup was called. They were called in as backup.
And okay, and so you need to answer this question too. The one cop who thought that he needed to use deadly force, no other cop who, as you described, was being viciously beaten, none of them felt the need to use deadly force somehow, but this one guy did, and it just happens to be. Hold on. It just happens to be the guy who also left his armed weapon in a public restroom. Like, nobody who's competent would do that. So it just happens that this incompetent buffoon also is the guy who shot the unarmed 90-pound woman who presented no threat.
Do you not agree? It wasn't just about the woman; it was about the mob.
The mob was unarmed.
It doesn't matter. If you can get 12 people through Congress that has vehicles which they are fully capable of using as weapons.
Okay, so you're saying that it's that because there was Congress people somewhere, you think maybe, who were in danger, even though you can't prove that. You can't prove that these were in any real danger. And in fact, that report just came out showing that none of this was organized. It was literally just like something that happened. So,
okay, what do you think that mob would have done had they gotten to Congress people?
They would have wandered around like everybody else did, staying within the velvet ropes.
The ones that beat down the doors in order to get to Congress, you think they would have just wandered around?
Yep. What else would they have done?
And you think,
there was a lot of armed, like we've established, there was plenty of armed police there. Uh-oh.
But the officer that shot Ashli Babbitt didn't know that at the time. They had just gotten there.
Nobody was. I just feel like this is like fruitless because the fact is she was unarmed, presented no threat. There was a dozen different ways they could have subdued her, and they could have subdued. If he would have arrested her and subdued her. Like, how do you know that wouldn't have stopped everybody? And those police came up.
The mob would have went after them because
you don't know that. It's fan fiction. You don't know that. And like you've already established, those fully geared police showed up right after she was shot, right? You say that? So if she hadn't have been shot, if she hadn't have been shot, right? But if she hadn't been shot and he would have just been arrested her, then everything would have been fine, right? Like those geared police would have come in.
Yes, that probably would have happened.
But he's a hero. But he's a hero, right?
Wait, listen. But you gotta put yourself in the position of him. The same way you gotta put yourself in the position of a guy that's going, that's chasing a cop chasing a 13-year-old kid with a gun down an alleyway who turns on him and drops the gun. He still got shot, right? You gotta put yourself in the position of that cop.
But he actually had a gun and was armed and was in the commission of a crime, like.
Yeah, but he got a gun. That cop just got 13-year-old kid. Everything would have been fine. But the cop didn't know that, and that's why he wasn't at fault. In the case of Ashli Babbitt, the cop didn't know that there were armed people behind Ashli Babbitt. What he saw was a person breaching the perimeter which he had set to keep the people away from the Congress people. If he had let Ashli Babbitt gone, then the rest of the mob would have eventually followed. He had no idea there was other people behind there capable of subduing the situation. Even if there was armed cops behind them, if they had gotten a couple of people to Congress and was able to grab onto them or hold them, subdue them in any way, now you have a hostage situation, which armed people can't just put down.
Well, for your position, and I've already established. How about damn it, I can't play this game when I'm not paying full attention. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how we're gonna come to any agreement, how we're gonna get anywhere, because Literally, like when it comes to police shooting black men and all this thing, you've taken exactly the opposite position when the situation's actually way more clear. Where like the guy who was sleeping at the Wendy's, you took his position too, or you took you defended him too.
I don't remember that conversation. No.
The Wendy's guy that the police shot when he grabbed one of their tasers and turned to fire it at them, and they shot him.
Wait, he fired the taser at them, and then he started running away, right? That guy?
Well, he turned to fire. He turned to fire the taser. That's when they shot him.
Yeah, so he fired the taser, and then he started running away, and then the cops shot him, right?
No. They literally shot him right as he turned to fire.
So I remember a situation, and these
see,
could be two different.
But look how you're doing now. Suddenly, oh wait a minute, no, this is totally different.
So if the guy had a loaded taser, then maybe it was justified for the main shooting. But the situation that I remember talking about was the situation where the guy didn't have a loaded taser. He had a unloaded taser that had already been discharged.
Right, he discharged it at them.
No, it had already been discharged before he started running away. He discharged it, started running away, and then he got shot.
Yeah. That's right.
But anyway, this still doesn't have anything to do with Ashli Babbitt.
It does, though, because especially as it concerns the media. Because, again, it's like, I know you'll deny it, but like you're echoing MSNBC to a T.
Wait, this guy that had the discharge taser, was there a mob behind him that was putting Congress people in danger?
Well, it was putting the police in danger, though.
But he didn't have any weapons, and there was no mob behind him.
No, he did, though. He took the weapon from the cop and shot it at him.
No, the weapon was already discharged.
Right. And then he got shot at that moment.
Well, he ran away in between those two things.
Like, we're talking about a guy who with an actual weapon, who actually fought police, who actually was in the middle of a crime, and he somehow gets defense from you. But Ashli Babbitt...
All right, so I would assume you know more about this situation than I do. I guess, I don't know, because you got the facts of the Ashli Babbitt situation so wrong.
You keep telling me that, but you last time we argued about this, you told me that like 5 people had been killed at the protest and that one of them was a cop, and you believe that. And why is, if all of this is so truthful on your side, why was the media lying about that from the beginning, and the Capitol Police?
The media wasn't lying. The Capitol Police made a mistake. People do make mistakes.
Oh, anyways, why do all these mistakes always cut the same direction? Always.
No, that's not true. That's also not true. Mistakes cut against Obama. Mistakes cut against Biden. It happens all the time. So we're not on this. We're talking about Ashli Babbitt. Oh my God.
Right. Ashli Babbitt was unarmed, presented no threat, and could have been subdued any number of ways.
She was a threat. Her and her mob was a threat.
No, they weren't.
So, do you think that the Capitol Police are just taking that chance with the Congress?
They were a threat, even though Congress people had been evacuated by that point. There was only like maybe some stragglers. Yet when Brett Kavanaugh was being confirmed, all those people were there as the mob rushed in.
You're not talking. So you admit that there were stragglers in Congress still trying to be evacuated, right?
Well, you claim that in this video that there's a congressman on there hanging out watching because he's so afraid that he's hanging out watching.
He was watching. He saw it, but he was trying to get into the chamber where the evacuation route was.
All those people were shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say really about it. It's. I'm not at all convinced that that deadly force was required, and the fact you just keep glossing over the fact that the guy that shot her is the only policeman who thought he felt the need to shoot somebody, even though I talked about earlier. You described that police were being viciously beaten. So like, if there's any time to shoot, that's it, right?
It's so different that we can't.
Oh, it's totally different because it doesn't. Yeah, it's just different somehow.
Oh, defending the Congress.
The other ones weren't defending Congress?
Listen.
They were defending a Taco Bell.
The cop that I was specifically talking about was pulled into the mob and beaten. What's he going to do? Go unlock his gun from his holster while they're saying grab his gun, use it on him, making it more dangerous for him, and we're still just going to have a chance try to shoot the mob and just start fighting around in the mob? Like, what the hell? So yes, no, that cop did not shoot the mob. So this guy did shoot because he was trying to defend the line where they were
right. The super important line that you keep saying. It was so important he had to use deadly force, and it was so important they only had one guy there defending it.
One guy with a gun, yeah.
Right, one guy, and a dozen unarmed people. And a dozen unarmed people were going to commit insurrection, even though Joe Biden himself said that AR-15s could never overthrow the government because they have nukes and F-16s. But these unarmed insurrectionists, this handful of people, were going to kill Congress people. Hey, yeah.
The threat wasn't an insurrection in this case. The threat was on directly the lives of specific Congress people.
And then, well, you still haven't proven, and nobody has ever proven that their lives were in any danger. It's just, it's repeated over and over.
If there is a mob of people breaking down the door to get into where Congress is,
let me ask you, was the mob attacking Bush's motorcade in 2004, were they a deadly threat?
No, you're not.
No, the standard's changing. Blah, blah, blah.
You're
going to change the standards again.
Even if my standards are changing, you should be able to answer this question.
What? What question?
Even if my standards are changing, you should be able to answer this question. If there is a mob breaking down the doors to get to where Congress people are, is it not reasonable?
Where's your evidence that that is where Congress people were?
Oh my God! Okay.
Like, where's the evidence that there was any substantial threat that required deadly force? It just is repeated over and over.
Do you want evidence that there was a threat, or do you want evidence that there was Congress people there?
Both.
Which one do I got?
Both. I want both.
All right,
I mean, I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure that there was, because when AOC was telling her tall tales about being scared about being raped and all this crap, it turned out that there was like an underground system that was easily accessible by the Congress people that would have gotten them to any, they could have gotten it, and it was easily but yet you had these Congress people like sitting in the I forget what it's called. The main hall there. They were all just sitting there with gas masks and stuff. Like, it was total theater.
No, I don't know what.
Like, why were they staying there? Like, I don't get that.
I don't know. Why does that matter? It's the fact that they were there.
Because it was theater. Okay. That's why.
So you think
they were let in? Those people were let in. And they were in part instigated by a guy who was recording footage that CNN and MSNBC purchased. Do you deny that? Do you deny that, Sullivan?
The proof that there was Congress people there is in your chat right now.
Video show. I can't. It's behind a paywall. I can't see it.
Oh, it's not. It's not. You can click on the video. It still plays.
No, I can't. Look.
Okay.
It's because I'm here. It's because I'm here too much.
Oh, maybe.
Hold on. Video shows moments leading up to. 1 second.
Oh, would you accept a screenshot of the video?
Crap. What was the rest of it? Damn it. Why do I only have one window here? What was leading up to?
So there's the screenshot where it shows where the representative was still there.
Okay, so you got a little blurry screenshot of a guy?
Mm-hmm.
So she was killed because that guy was there? She was killed because that guy was there?
Well, there's probably other ones. Do you see that?
Probably, but they didn't. Probably, but they didn't get
Wait, Joseph, do you see that hallway?
Well, I think that's a. Hold on, let me also say that looks like a really early picture because that window's not shattered.
Yeah, they haven't.
Those people are not there. Those people are not there when Ashli Babbitt's going through the window. It's empty.
Oh my God.
Let me show me the video. Where's that? What's that video called? What's that video called? Shooting of Ashli Babbitt. Here, let me get that video.
Okay.
Well, man, they have a lot of videos called. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, during Rampage at the Capitol. I love I just love the language and propaganda used against this versus, you know, the violent riots that went on for more than a year and largely were based on lies from the media. Okay, I'm watching this right now. Okay, this is like a dozen people there. Okay, you got one guy who didn't get shot. Well, there's not showing a lot in this video, actually. Oh my God, look, he put his shoes up on the desk. Terrorist! Look at that. Oh my God. I mean, ambushing police and murdering 5 police. That's nothing. That's nothing. This guy had his boots on Pelosi's desk. All right, hold on, let me.
Perfect. Pause it so I can queue up with you.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the videos here. Let's see. Look at this one.
Oh, you haven't.
I'm looking at videos right now. Okay, so there's where she's crawling through the window, and I just want to look at this window. Like, it's funny they sent her because she was she's clearly the smallest person there. It's a little window. Like, no mob. This mob is not getting through that window, dude. Like, there's just not. Like, there's nobody rushing through that.
Wait, they were working on breaking down all the windows and trying to break through the door.
So this is right after oh no, this is before. So that guy's a cop right there. A lot of these guys are cops. This is all police here. Now. Oh, see, it's right there. You see? Look. I'm right. Look at that. They're right behind her. Right behind her. See? You see I'm right?
What video are you looking at?
Hold on, let me show you. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta show this. Yeah, look at it. I put it in chat here. It proves what I was saying earlier, that they were there before Ashli Babbitt even got shot. You could see her there in the video.
No, they had just arrived though.
Look at the video. Between 14 seconds, you can see Ashli Babbitt right there, and go ahead to, like, let's see, as camera follows 18 seconds, they're right there behind her.
Yeah, they are. And those guys, the cops, they're getting information.
You denied that. You denied that this whole time. You denied that these guys were there.
They're just sitting there.
You say that I'm spreading misinformation, yet you denied that the whole time, and I was right.
What are they doing? They're letting the cops through, right?
Yeah. So why didn't they arrest her? And up.
But do you expect them to just go out there and bomb rush her? While there's people like in between them and her? Do you think, look, that was the whole 4 seconds they had after her going through that window. A whole 50 seconds. Like, what do you expect from these guys? They're not fucking superheroes.
Here, let's see how long this takes. So the cops are there, armed cops, literally standing right behind her. Right behind her. There's...
So they're behind her. They're letting the people who are trying to take care of the situation.
Right. So why didn't that cop just pull her in, arrest her, and then you got fully geared cops right behind her to arrest anybody who tries to get through?
There's no cop behind her when she's going through that window.
Bullshit. 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 Look at this, folks. Anybody watching the stream? Look. They're right there. They're right there.
Those are rioters. They're fucking mob.
Yeah, you're hard to hear, Cluck. Is there any way you can improve your...
I'm on my phone. There's all that cops right behind it. There's not a cop. There's not even any
Dude, there was no need for lethal force. My case is fucking closed right there.
There was no cop close to Ashli Babbitt when she got shot. Do you admit that?
What? No, they were right there. They were right behind her.
They were at the stairwell.
They're literally 4 feet from her.
They're at the stairwell.
Look at this. Look at this. I got a screenshot right here. 4 feet from her.
I'm watching the video. I'm literally watching the video.
Excuse me. You're telling me that those fully geared officers that are right behind Ashli Babbitt, that if that cop had not shot Ashli Babbitt, that crowd would have swarmed through that window. And that's why she had to be shot. And that's why she had to be shot.
You remember that the cop that shot Ashli Babbitt didn't know that those other cops were there, right?
Oh, he didn't know? But he was on radio. No. He talked about that in his interview, how he was hearing everything that was going on radio. And he also claimed that he heard there was shots fired in the Capitol by the protesters, which was total bullshit. That was not true. That never happened.
Okay.
And he said it in the interview.
No. Wait, did he say that he knew that the backup was there?
I'm sorry?
How do you even know that they went on the radio and
so
said
he
that
was
we
hearing
have a
everything.
whatever?
So he was hearing everything on the radio except for the fact that, and he couldn't see these fully geared police right behind Ashli Babbitt. He couldn't see that, and he wasn't hearing anything about it.
Yeah,
dude.
It is
so
possible.
okay, so are you saying that this is negligence? Can you admit it's negligence?
Maybe.
Okay.
All
right. Well, that's hey, we're making progress. We're making progress.
No, it's not negligent. No, it's not fucking negligent.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Because you don't know what the radio traffic was at the time. They may have been on fully different channels. And, like, you don't know how,
So,
how do you even know
okay.
the people arrived there have been like, all right, we're at the spot on the same channel that the other guy was on. These are different units. You realize that, right?
Listen. So you're saying that he didn't know? No, look, you're saying he didn't know what was going on, so he shot. He said during the interview that he didn't know if Ashli Babbitt was armed or anything. He didn't know. He couldn't see. He said that he's supposed to aim for center mass. He said that, remember? In the interview, he's like, well, we're taught to aim for center mass. She got shot through the neck, almost point blank range. And he's like, oh, well, she was sideways and I couldn't really see. And he's saying a lot of like really bullshit crap. And now you're telling me that he didn't know a lot of things, so might as well shoot.
Well, yeah, if you don't know that there's another path, then yeah,
Jesus
shooting
Christ,
is
dude.
the way to go.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. My God. No, that's when you don't shoot. That's when you see a little girl coming, like 90-pound chick coming through the window, pull her through, arrest her, point your gun at the window. No, look, you arrest her, point your gun at the window.
That's when you let the mob overtake you and the Congress people. Is that what you're saying?
See, you're going back to your fan fiction again. For one, the only thing we know is that that hall was empty. Okay, when that happened, the hall was empty. There was nobody there as far as we can see.
They were saying to evacuate.
Right, they were evacuating. So.
But they weren't evacuating.
All right, for anybody that's just getting here, just so we're clear, so I can get you up to speed where we're at on this argument, is that he is basically saying that Ashli Babbitt deserved to die because she was coming through. Hold on, because she.
Go ahead.
She deserved to die because she was coming through the window. Okay, she was unarmed, but she deserved it anyway because the cop didn't know if the mob was gonna somehow follow her through this window. That she's easily able to fit through because she's tiny, all right? But most of these, okay, and at the same time, all right, and I showed this video, if you guys can see this video, there are literally fully geared tactical police right behind her on the stairs, all right? So let's say that let's say that instead of shooting Ashli Babbitt, the cop pulled her through, put her on the ground, arrested her, and guess what? He's probably going to turn around with that gun, point it back at the window, and these guys, these fully armed guys, are right behind her. So if anybody tries anything, they're going to be right there. So there was no need for lethal force.
Wait. Can I give my actual position now?
Yeah.
So from the cop's perspective that shot Ashli Babbitt, there was congressmen inside of the chamber. He was in charge of making sure, along with the 3 officers that were guarding the door, put in charge of making sure that the mob did not get to the congressmen. He was standing in between the mob and the congressmen. There was probably people escorting the congressmen out, but he was the cop that was standing in between them. Ashli Babbitt, along with a mob of multiple people that were breaking down doors and windows with like flagpoles and helmets and other hard objects, was breaking down the windows, multiple windows, not just the one. They were making attempts at other ones when Ashli got shot. And Ashli Babbitt just so happens to be the first person through that window, which led to her getting shot.
Dude, there are as many.
As far as that police officer knew, he was the only one there. That was going to be able to stop Ashli and
you're telling me, Cluck, you're telling me there's like literally as many police in this room as there are protesters. Look at it. And you're telling me this cop had no way of knowing these people were in that room with them.
At the time, yes, no.
Look at all these people. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on. There's more. 6. Another one.
If Ashli Babbitt is crawling
7.
through the window, if Ashli Babbitt is crawling through the window, do you think he's focusing on what's going on at the stairwell or what's going on in the window?
Let me ask you another question about the demeanor of these guys. Do these cops look like they're afraid for their lives? Like, they're pretty calm and collected. They're not freaking out. They don't have their guns drawn. Like, you're telling me this checkpoint. You're telling me there's this checkpoint. Stop. You're telling me there's this checkpoint that's ultra super important and this guy had to use deadly. But these guys are just like, it's cool. We're good here.
Yeah, the guys with the AR-15s that has plenty of people behind them, yeah, they're probably pretty calm.
There's a huge disconnect here, dude. Huge disconnect. Like, I don't understand why you can't see it. Why are these cops not reacting in the same way that guy is? They don't seem as worried. They don't seem as frantic.
AR-15, and they have backup behind them. That the cop that was in the hallway didn't know that he had backup and was armed with a handgun, going against many different mob people that were trying to break down the doors and windows.
I just want to emphasize again for anybody who just might be here. If you watch the interview, the guy, the officer that shot Babbitt, kept talking about how he was hearing all this stuff on the radio. So he was hearing everything on the radio except for the fact that all these police were in the room right next to him that he should have been able to clearly see. Look, guys, you're the part I'm spaz on now. You can see the window. You can see the police.
You can clearly see. What do you think he was focusing on? The girl coming through the window or the cops at the stairwell?
So are we talking negligence here?
What do you think you're focusing on? The girl coming through the window or the cops at the stairwell?
So we've laid out all this. So you don't agree with murder. You don't agree with murder. Do you agree with negligence?
No.
Okay. That's weird because this guy's already guilty of negligence. We already know he's guilty of negligence. You don't think that's possible, that he's guilty of negligence again? No? Impossible.
Not in this situation, no. It's possible that he could have been guilty of negligence in some other situation, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. How many Capitol Police officers have left loaded guns in public restrooms? How many?
I'm sure there's been plenty.
No, there hasn't. There hasn't.
Yes, no. They just haven't been publicized.
Oh.
People leave.
He was publicized. They were just after him then, right? When they publicized that.
Leaving loaded guns in public restrooms is literally a thing that happens all the time in police forces.
Right, and they lose their jobs, dude.
Not all the time. No, that's not true.
Show me. This is all conjecture. You're gonna have to show me proof of this. I don't know if this is true. I've never heard of a Capitol Police officer leaving a gun in a public restroom.
No other instance of cops leaving guns in a public restroom is as publicized as this one was.
But why was it? It was publicized because it's unusual.
Because the white is looking for anything they can hold on to try and attack this guy.
Oh, but it was publicized before any of this, though, is the thing. So.
Okay. So what do you think he was focusing on? The girl coming through the window, or the cops at the stairwell?
You're telling me he can't see through the window and can't see all these police in there with them?
I'm telling you that he's tunnel vision on the girl coming through the window. And that's reasonable.
He's just focused on, but there was lots of time before that. Like, you're telling me all the time before that he wasn't looking in the window and seeing that there was all these, there's a dozen cops in this room, dude.
No, there was 4 seconds. There was 4 seconds between the cops arriving and actually that are going through that window.
You keep saying arriving, but they were there when the people were coming up the stairs to get to that place. So, I'm not buying it.
I counted the videos that you sent. I counted the seconds between when they arrived.
If what you're saying, if I were to take your argument at face value, that's negligence. Then that he discharged a firearm when it was not necessary to do so, and killed somebody.
It was necessary in this situation. Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't, and you cannot prove it was. You're just like making up fan fiction to rationalize it. All right. I mean, this is pointless at this point. I'm just going in circles.
In the interview, did he like tell the interviewer what his orders were?
I don't remember exactly what he said. I mean, everything he said seemed very scripted, and he seemed guilty as fuck, I gotta say. I mean, he just seemed like his facial gestures were weird, dude. Have you seen it? You gotta watch it. It's weird. I don't understand why more people are talking about it.
I told you I read some of it.
You can literally pause. You can literally pause it like just about any point when he's talking, and his face looks like he's just bullshitting and he knows it.
So, did he tell people what his orders were?
I don't remember exactly.
You all remember? Okay. You remember his face?
He said that he was courageous in shooting this unarmed woman that was at a window, like completely defenseless and not presenting any threat. He was courageous for shooting her, which I found very odd that you would say that. Like, at least be like, oh man, a human life was lost. Like, I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine a cop shooting an unarmed person, especially like a black person, and then getting on TV and be like, I was courageous. They'd say like, oh man, I really hated to do that. I didn't want to do that, blah, blah, blah. They wouldn't say they were fucking courageous and they're a hero. Who says that? Who declares themselves a hero? That's not something that normal people do.
That doesn't.
That guy is fucked up, and I don't understand why he's in that position.
That doesn't like unjustify his actions that day.
I disagree. He's the only guy that shot somebody.
Just because he thinks that his actions were courageous doesn't mean that like wasn't justified in shooting after that.
Okay, well, I disagree, and no doubt the next policeman that shoots a black person that was fighting them or whatever. But that's weird how that's not in the news anymore too, isn't it? Isn't that weird? I guess it just stopped. I guess police stopped shooting black men. Right?
No, they haven't stopped shooting black men. The police are the news. If you don't have a news thing, they just don't whatever views. Like, holy shit. Why do you think this is just a grand conspiracy? It's capitalism.
It's not a grand conspiracy. The press just has an agenda.
Right now, what's in the news
it's well proven.
Afghanistan.
What about Afghanistan?
Right now, what's in the news is Afghanistan. That's what's getting the clicks. That's what's getting the views. That's what's getting the people who tune in the cable.
I don't know. My Afghanistan videos are doing shit.
Well, maybe you have a sick take on it. I don't know.
Yeah, the videos might just not be that good, but yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just remember you defending a guy who was like clearly like. It was like totally a justified shooting. It's several of them, and like suddenly, it's like it just this is the problem that half the country has is that, and you kept saying that I'm trying to point out hypocrisy, but that's not it. What I'm trying to do is establish consistent standards that seem to be impossible. It's like nailing Jello to the wall. It's just like.
Because, well, my standard for the situation in Ashli Babbitt was that if somebody, if the cops felt like there was a threat to Congress, then yes, he's pretty justified in shooting them.
I think this threat to Congress, I think instead of just repeating this over and over, that it needs to be proven that there was actually a threat to Congress.
I showed you the picture of the congressman, and there's also.
You showed me a picture of a congressman. That's not proof of anything.
It's the staff in Congress also. They were in danger.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
But you don't believe that
it needs to be proven. It needs to be proven. Wait, I mean, they didn't. Again, when Democrats rushed in to stop the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh, there was no sense of urgency or danger or any of that.
That wasn't open. That was open to the public.
Oh, that was Democrats, right? It was different. It was different.
Hey, yeah, no, it's different because of the fact that I said, not because of the Democrats. What do you mean? If that was already open to the public, those people were just watching and hearing. They weren't a part of it.
If you keep saying it was open to the public. Listen, but the police were guarding it, and they were fighting the police and banging on the doors and doing all that. So why were they doing that if it was open to the public?
Are you talking about the hearings, or are you talking about the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court.
Okay, so those are two different situations. Nobody actually got.
Right, it's different when you do it. I know it, dude. It's one of the most consistent thing. It's the only consistent thing that we can count on. That's the only consistent.
The situation where they have innocent hearings, the situation where they were at the Supreme Court are two different situations.
Right, completely different because it was the left doing it. I know. You don't even have to tell me. I could have told you that before we even started this.
Dronetek, you are ascribing a position to me that I have not taken.
I don't need to ascribe it. I already know that you're going to take it.
Dronetek, I have been able to give you reasons why these situations are different that are not what you're saying I'm saying.
The reasons that you're giving are not. That's not. They're not different. They're not different. You're just saying that they're different. That's all.
In this situation, to where they interrupted the
You're ascribing motivations, and you're saying that those motivations are more legitimate than the others. That's all.
Listen. In this situation, where they were interrupting the hearings in Congress, not the Supreme Court. We're not talking about that right now.
They were interrupting proceedings. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they were interrupting the proceedings. Was it or was it not open to the public? Were those proceedings not open?
I don't know that for sure. I don't know that for sure, but I know that the police at the beginning were blocking the mob. The mob was trying to beat down the door, and they let them in. It was very similar, actually, to what happened at the Capitol in that way.
No, so you're talking about the Supreme Court now. I'm talking about the hearing that the Congress was having. The Supreme Court didn't get let in. They didn't get let into the Supreme Court.
Yes, they did. They did. They absolutely did. They were literally in the hall where they were having debates about the confirmation, or they were taking votes for the confirmation.
No, the votes at the confirmation didn't happen at the Supreme Court. That happened in Congress. Those are two different situations.
No.
The situation where they debated the Supreme Court, that was a different situation than people in Congress where they were taking votes.
Right. Right, they were taking votes to confirm Kavanaugh. That's where they came into.
Yeah. But the part where the mob was banging on the Supreme Court doors, those weren't the same people that were inside of Congress during the hearing.
It wasn't a hearing.
You know
it was the
right?
vote. It was the vote for the confirmation.
That happened in Congress, the Capitol. That happened in the Capitol, not the Supreme Court.
You're kind of confusing me here. One second. Let's see. Did I link that video up here somewhere? That was two different places? I didn't know that, if that's true. But I don't think it changes anything. I mean... Oh, here we go. I found it.
It does for my point.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, because I'm trying to say the situations were different. The case where they were banging on the Supreme Court, they didn't get into the Supreme Court. The case where they were inside of Congress, the Congress was already open to the public. They didn't break down any doors or windows in order to get there.
Kavanaugh to be sworn.
They were already...
Right, they're pounding on the... Yeah. Why would they be pounding on the doors of a place where they weren't doing the confirmation?
I don't know why they were doing it. They didn't get in. They weren't posing any danger to anybody.
Protesters crashed Judge Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's right here. Yet nobody's evacuated. Nobody's wearing gas masks. Police are arresting people.
Yeah. So those people were those people in the confirmation hearing. They were already allowed in.
Right, they were. Oh, okay. So you got the people outside pounding on the doors and doing all that, and then you got the infiltrators inside causing a ruckus.
Well, no, the people pounding on the door were in a completely different building.
Why would they be at a different building? It's not a different building. No, it's not.
Happened at a different time. This wasn't at the same time.
No, it's not. It's happened at the same place.
No, the protest at the Supreme Court where they were pounding on the door, this happened after Kavanaugh was confirmed. This happened after the vote.
Okay, well, I'll have to look more into that. I'm not sure about that.
Me too, because like...
Here we go.
What does it matter?
I'll also... Sorry, go ahead, Barry.
What do you mean what does it matter?
Because they both was making a scene. It doesn't matter.
So Ashli Babbitt didn't get shot because she was making a scene.
No, because she wasn't making a scene. She was just going through the window.
Yeah, she was going through the window unarmed with a mob of people that were trying to break down.
You say a mob. It was less than a dozen, and there were fully geared officers right behind them. So Not really much of a
Wait,
threat. Guys, I'll be right back. I got a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back.
There's still a
There's
mob of
other
people.
means to take her down without killing her.
As far as the cop that killed her knew at the time, there was not.
Dude, there was.
But as far as he knew at the time, there was not, because the other means that into stopping her didn't arrive into in the scene until 4 seconds before she tried to get through the window.
Okay, so the cop that shot her. Okay, if you look at it, shot her in the neck. Now, what gun did he use?
It's some kind of pistol. I don't know. 9mm. I don't know.
Okay, normally if you get shot in the neck, it goes straight through. Any cop, and trust me, I know, any cop has got to be responsible for the bullet that when it goes straight through, it could have hit another cop. That was right behind her.
Well, they were still in the stairwell when Ashli Babbitt was going through the window, but
No, if you look at the video that John Sullivan actually took, they were right behind her.
no, those people that are right behind her are not cops. No, those people that are right behind her. I'm looking at the video right now.
Under John Sullivan's video, look it up.
I'm looking at the video that Dronetek. I don't know who.
Not the one that person sitting is back behind them. John Sullivan was right beside her. And it showed completely armed cops right beside her.
Right, it
And
did.
riot gear.
So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at a video where she just now
Okay,
fell on the floor
what did I
after
tell
she
you?
got shot.
Look at
No,
John Sullivan's video.
I'm looking at the video that Dronetek sent to me. I'm
Right
not gonna look at
beside her was cops in full riot gear. Look under that video, not the video that is 10 feet behind.
Tell you what. You post the video in Discord, and I'll be happy to look at it.
I don't know, I
not
have
gonna
to put videos.
Oh well, I'm sorry. If Jones wants to find it for me, then I'll be happy to look at it. But I'm looking at a video where she just now dropped, and there is not a cop anywhere near in this frame. And this is from behind. This isn't from like the side.
Let me ask you something. You're saying it's justified for the cop to shoot Ashli Babbitt being not armed. However, all of y'all want to throw a bitch fit when Breonna Taylor and all the rest get shot.
Yeah, I already brought up this point. He's gonna do mental gymnastics to dismiss that.
I'll go over it again with her. If there is a threat to Congress people, do you think that the people that are in charge of protecting Congress has a right to use force?
You have not established this threat to Congress people, first of all.
I haven't established the Congress people were there, right?
No, you haven't, because we've established that there's fully geared officers right behind them. So there's no way any mob going through there.
Dronetek, that video that you sent shows that there were no officers near at that. They were still.
Oh my God! Stop it! No, it doesn't. It shows they're 4 feet behind her. But stop it! Just stop. You're lying.
At the stairwell.
You're lying.
Like there's no officers there. Those people that you think are officers are just normal people.
No, they got badges. Oh my God, dude! I've been showing the video for like the last 20 minutes. Like. It's there. I have it paused where you can see Ashli Babbitt a few feet away, and literally there's as many officers in there as there are people, like regular civilians.
Can you screenshot the place that you're at and send it, please?
I will. Yeah, 1 second. Well, I told you that video I linked between like 14. Man, I'm playing terribly. Between 14 seconds and 18.
Wait. Yeah, that's not one she got shot.
Where's my video? Where's my freaking video?
Cluck, you don't look at the whole picture, and you honestly don't look at it from a person outside looking in. You're putting your feelings in it, and that's not how it should be.
Here.
Get your feelings out of it.
Look, I have the screenshot right here where they're just in this place. Ashli Babbitt's right there. Okay, let me take this. It's less than 4 feet. It's like 2 feet. And look at this. Here, I'm gonna screenshot this for you real quick here. 1 second.
Arm span is 3 feet. They could reach her and pull her back. They didn't have to shoot her.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, dude on the other side could have pulled her through and arrested her. Period. And then the cops, if anybody had tried to come through, those cops are right behind there. They could have easily taken care of it. Look, I just posted the screenshot. You can see Ashli Babbitt right there. 1 cop behind her, 2 cop, 3 cop, and then you can see the helmets of the other guys going down there.
If you continue the video, all the cops that were behind her start going down the stairwell.
Bullshit. Shut up, dude. Just stop.
Armor on.
Stop. You're trying to justify the shooting of her because a mob would have followed her out the window, apparently you say, and yet all these cops are just right there, literally not even a foot. That guy's not even a foot from her.
Continue the video. They go down the stairwell, Joseph.
Oh, dude. You're in a fantasy land. You're in a fantasy land. I got the screenshot up on right now. Boom.
Yeah,
there's Ashli Babbitt. There's Ashli Babbitt. There's a cop 1 foot behind her. 2, 3, 4, 5 cops in full gear.
So the guy in a beanie? You see the guy in a beanie? That's not a cop. You know that, right?
What?
The guy in a beanie. You see the guy in a beanie?
Yeah, he is a cop. I can see his rank. I can see his rank.
He's not a cop.
What are you talking about? The guy in the suit. The guy in suit directly behind. No, not the guy in the window. The guy directly behind Ashli Babbitt is a cop in a suit. Then there's another cop behind him, and another, and another, and another.
Yeah, so I'm talking about the guy in the beanie, not the suit.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about, a beanie. I don't see any beanies.
Talk about it. There are cops behind.
Yeah. At this point, do you
actually look at what you're seeing.
Do you see what direction they're facing?
These people are. Oh my God! What are you? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you looking at the screenshot I gave you?
I am looking at the screenshot.
What are you talking about? A guy in a beanie. Look at Ashli Babbitt, her backpack, her American backpack. Directly behind her, there's a guy in a tie and a suit. Directly, that's a cop. There's a guy behind him, a cop. Another guy in front of him, a cop. 2 helmets, 2 tactical helmets below that.
Can you slow down for just 2 seconds? So the guy in the suit's a cop, right? Yes, I agree. The guy and the wait, hold on. This is the point at which Ashli Babbitt starts going through the window.
Right, it's just before. It's just before.
Yeah. So you see the guy in the hat? He's a cop too, right? He's a cop too, right?
Yeah, I see. There's 7 cops right behind her.
Yeah.
2 of them, at least 2 of them, if not more, are in tactical gear.
What is the guy in the hat doing right now? What is the guy in the hat doing right now?
Dude.
What is the guy in the hat doing right now?
Look, get your head out of your ass. You're trying to justify something.
Hold on. Look at this. Look at this. As soon as she was shot, look at the tactical helmet there. I got up right now. He's right behind Ashli Babbitt, the tactical helmet. Right behind her.
What is the guy in the hat doing right now?
Look, I don't know what you're talking about. A hat. Why do you keep saying that?
I'm not watching your stream. You're going to have to send a screenshot. I'm not watching your stream.
All right, I'm doing it.
Are you streaming on Discord?
Look, this is look. This is direct. This is right after she was shot. The screenshot I'm putting up. There, see the tactical helmet right there, right where it says person. You see, it says person was right there. You can see the tactical guy right there. Right behind her.
That's not a tactical guy. That's a mob. That's a member of the mob.
No, it says police on his helmet. It says police on his helmet. What are you talking about?
I don't see where it says police on his helmet.
Oh, hold on. It is. Look at the video, dude. Go to the 30-second mark and 36-second mark and you'll see it. Here, I just took a screenshot of the police part so you can see that. Look, I just put a screenshot. That is one of the geared up police. He's right there. You're telling me he somehow shot up in a second he shot up.
Wait. And the screenshot that with the guy in the blue with the mask. You're talking about the guy that's got the backpack on, right?
No. The guy with the backpack is clearly a civilian. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the guy in the tactical gear with the helmet that says police on it. That's right there.
Where is he in this picture, the other picture you sent?
I put another screenshot there where you can see it says police on his helmet.
Yeah, but I don't see him.
He's right. You see the guy with the mask and the suit that's looking? He's looking right at him. Look at 30.
Did you ever see any of
I see him. Okay,
the
I see
shooting?
him now. So this was after that I got shot, right?
This is
Listen.
immediately
ever
after.
see
She
any other
literally just fell on the
video of
ground.
the shooting?
Okay. I wish they didn't blur this out. Hold on,
Look.
I'm gonna go back to the split screen one. I'm
Look,
gonna show
30
you at the
36
moment he got
second
shot
mark.
where the police were.
No, that is it. I just got it for you.
No,
What are you talking about?
no.
You're gonna show me? I just showed you.
Dronetek. The video, the screenshot that you showed me was after she got shot. So when she got shot, the police were heading down. The police were heading down the
So
stairs.
in a
then he got
millisecond, they
shot.
teleported right behind her somehow. They were going down, but then they teleported. Dude, watch the video. You keep telling me to watch the video. Freaking watch the video. She gets shot. She falls. Immediately, the tactical cop is right there. So let's imagine for a second that instead of shooting her, the cop on the other side pulled her through, started arresting her, and guess what? Tactical cops and that other cop are right there already. Nobody else is going through. Like, you're full of shit, dude. You're full of shit. They're full of shit. That guy murdered her. The media's fucking full of shit. And fuck all of you, in my opinion.
That's how I feel. You just don't want to be corrected. You think you're always right.
Give me 2 seconds.
Look, I will say that she was.
For a long time trying to argue with him.
Look, I will meet you halfway here, if you'll meet me on negligence, and I'll say that she was in the wrong there. She shouldn't have been like jumping through this window, especially with, you know, armed men on the other side pointing a gun. But she did not deserve to die. They could have easily have restrained her, and it's bullshit that she got shot. And that it's also bullshit. This total propaganda offensive to defend this cop and defend what happened because of the fact that she was a Trump supporter. And
Can you do me a favor real quick?
She could have been armed, but she didn't show any weapons. She didn't have any weapons.
right, none. 98 pounds. Tiny little girl.
Saying a cop shoot somebody.
Okay.
Now you're saying a cop can shoot somebody just because they think somebody has a weapon.
Dronetek.
Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Dronetek, the screenshot I just sent you, I'm gonna send another one because it's gonna be a little bit better than that one. Could you show me where the cop is? Could you show me where the cop is? Please?
Well, because of where you stopped it, it's like the camera there. It's like literally the cops are right next to wherever this camera is. They're right there. Because if you look at where well, wait a second. Is that the same video? No, that's not the same video.
Video, because the video you sent, it blurs everything around it when she crawls through the window and focuses on her. So I sent.
Okay, so does this one. So does this one. Look, literally. Okay, so on my video, she falls to the ground. Okay, 1, 2. There's the one cop, and you can see the helmet right there. He's right there, dude. Like, it's 2 seconds and he's there.
He was there.
Man, so you're telling me that if instead he would have arrested her, that mob would have rushed through that window somehow.
I'm telling you that those people weren't near Ashli Babbitt when she started falling through the window.
Bullshit. They were 4 feet away.
Cluck, I just asked you a question.
Who's got a 4-foot reach on their arm?
Look. Just before the shooting, you can see where they're at. I have it up on.
You have a 3 feet arm reach. Unless you're a midget.
Look, guys, that's where they're at, right there.
So Ashli Babbitt gets up from gets onto the window sill and gets shot immediately after. You expect the cop down below to just have these extraordinary reflexes to be able to pull her through the window before she gets shot.
He could have pulled her through. There's a dozen different methods they could have used that were not lethal, that would have subdued her, would have saved her life, and there would have been no mob going through there. Come on.
Yeah, in Utopia that would have been
no
fantastic.
Utopia. There were as many police there, some of them totally geared up, that could have dealt with anybody trying to rush through that window after that point.
Yeah,
the guy arresting Ashli Babbitt would have still been armed. They could have pointed a gun back at the window.
The guy that shot Ashli Babbitt had no idea that they were even there.
Okay, bullshit. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. Especially because in the interview, In the interview he did on NBC the other night, he kept talking about hearing stuff on the radio. He made a point that he was keeping in communication with everything going on through the radio. And that's also the point where he claimed he heard that they were shooting in the within the building. He heard that. He claims. He claims. There's no proof of that. No proof, but that's what he claims. Which is weird, right?
So, Cluck, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
You're saying now cops could honestly shoot somebody because they think a person has a weapon.
No, it's not about her having a weapon. She didn't have to be armed. She had a mob behind her.
It didn't matter. It
Yes,
doesn't
it does.
matter.
Here, I'm gonna
It
put
does
up.
matter.
Hey, guys, quiet for a second. I'm just gonna put up some of this interview real quick. I think it's worth doing, real quick.
Could you post a link or stream it on Discord so I can listen to it?
This is the video I did the other day. I'm just gonna kind of skip through the clip parts.
Showed the utmost courage on January 6th.
Hold on.
Day plus
Hold on.
a 60-day
Sorry,
money
guys.
back
We
guarantee.
gotta get through this out of the way.
I believe I showed the utmost courage on January 6th.
Yeah, he showed the utmost courage. Like, that's just a weird. You don't think that's a weird thing to say about shooting an unarmed woman? You don't think that's weird? Anyway, hold on. Okay, I'm having.
Oh, so that guy wasn't just going against a woman. He was going against an entire mob that was trying to get through that barricade.
Right, an entire mob. Let
Americans
me
were
ask you this.
witnessing on
This is
their-
another point. A lot of other people have made it, and I think it's a good point. Look, this violent mob is staying within the velvet ropes. Is that typical for an insurrectionist mob?
So what about the ones that were banging on the window to try to break them up? What about that guy that told the cops to step aside? That I saw people get hurt outside, and I want you to be able to go home.
All
But
right,
we're
hold on,
gonna get through it.
hold on, let me play these real quick. 1 second.
TVs, but officers. Were you afraid that day?
I was very afraid.
What are you hearing on your radio?
I'm hearing about the breaches of different barricaded areas, officers being overrun, officers being down.
Did you?
So now I want to focus on. I don't know if you heard that. Probably not. It was. If you look at the video I linked, it's at like 3 minutes 50 seconds. They get into the radio discussion, which it's weird that Lester brings up the radio. That's kind of strange to me. And he's like, and then he goes on to spin some myths. He's like, oh yes, I was on the radio. I was hearing about officers being overrun, officers being down. Like what? Like what was he? Was he at the Tet Offensive or something? Like that's what it sounds like. He was at the Tet Offensive. But it wasn't the Tet Offensive. There was nothing being overrun. There was no officers down. What the hell is he even talking about?
Did you watch the New York Times video on this?
Oh God, I watched it live when it happened, but yeah.
Did you watch the New York Times video on this?
Yeah, and you say that to me like I haven't seen a bazillion videos like that of left-wing protests. But yeah, you're like, have you seen the video? Yes, I've seen a million left-wing protests that were just like that. But yeah, I saw it.
Did you watch the New York Times video on this?
I don't. I probably have. I can't remember it specifically.
Okay, if you watch the New York Times video, they had videos of officers being assaulted and going down.
Being assaulted and going down. Well, let me tell you something. When people hear officer down, that typically means like an officer has been shot. That's what that means. Officer down means officer shot. Was there any officer shot, Liberal Cluck? No.
They were assaulted.
Oh, they were assaulted. Assaulted like every left-wing protest that's ever been? Like that, you mean?
What would you say on the radio if an officer got drug into the mob and was brutally being beat by the mob?
Well, he's in full riot gear, so any beating he gets is going to be he's not really going to feel it because he's in riot gear. That's what riot gear is for.
I appreciate you coming into the chat. Just so you know, I didn't stream any of this. This was all just because I'm a masochist. So I got no benefit from this, but I'm glad you were able to stream it. Have a good night, my dude. This was interesting.
Yeah. It was interesting.
All right. Well, I do appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to hear this like sort of moral outrage about cops being beaten by mobs when like literally every day, Antifa beats police, and we don't hear anything about it. Our BLM and Antifa related people, we don't hear anything about it. There's no news, there's no moral outrage, there's none of that. But then in this one instance, you're gonna like proselytize to me about it. Like, fuck you.
So the reason why cops being beaten in this one instance is important.
It's different when they do it. Yeah.
No.
You don't even have to go any further.
So it's important in the context of our conversation,
right?
Because it shows you what this mob was capable of.
Right. Oh yeah, they were capable. Well, what did Joe Biden say that AR-15s are capable of? He said nothing because they have nukes and F-16s. So you're telling me a handful of unarmed people were a major threat. It's hard to consolidate those two things. Don't you agree?
So this, hold on. If we're talking about the Ashli Babbitt situation, I'm not saying that particular mob was capable of overthrowing our government because our institutions are strong. They were attempting, probably. At least people in the riot as a whole were definitely trying to overthrow the government.
Do you think? Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think that the mob that attacked Bush's motorcade in 2004 were trying to overthrow the government?
Probably not. I don't think
Of course.
Was going to kill the president.
Of course. Okay. Well, let me tell you what Michael Moore said about it. Michael Moore said about it in the documentary he did about it.
Michael Moore's an idiot. Why would I care what he said?
Okay, well, he's the guy who's on your side of the argument, and he said, and he reported at the time. No, let me just tell you. Okay, all right. Well, he's not on your side.
I know leftists think that they're a deer. I don't agree with everybody on the left.
Well, I just want to tell you that Michael Moore said about that incident that I'm just saying, he said about the incident that they were trying to take back what they believed they had lost, which was the election. What does that mean to you? That sounds like an insurrection. That sounds like an insurrection.
I don't think that the guy that threw a bottle at the motorcade was trying to take back anything. I think that the people that were storming the Capitol, trying to get to the Congress men and women, were trying to take back something. As a matter of fact, there were people going through just looking for something to try to incriminate Congress on the election. Like, they were trying to overturn the election.
Right. Translation, it's different when we do it. Thank you. It was good talking to you, Liberal Cluck. You can just sum it up that way. It's cool.
I think little things that they were doing that made it different. Not just because it was right versus left.
They attacked the president's motorcade because they lost the election. What the fuck? It was like 10,000, by the way. It was like 10,000 Democrats.
Yes, they fucking did. It was bad. I don't think that they thought that it was going to overthrow the election.
Cluck, do you honestly think this was an insurrection? Do you?
I don't think he does, actually. I don't think he does. I don't think he does, actually. He's a little bit reasonable.
Can I ask a question?
Sorry.
I think that there were definitely people there that were there with the intention to enact violence against Congress in order to overthrow the election. I don't think that was everyone.
No, that's not true. The FBI said that's not true. You know what I'm talking about? The report?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
The FBI came out saying, no, it wasn't Trump's fault, and no, there wasn't a big,
Here, I got it.
Yeah.
Here you go. Hey, check that out. Check that out, bro.
But have you read back in 1983 where the Democrats actually put a bomb in the Capitol building?
Yeah.
And guess what? Your buddy Clinton exonerated the two people that did it.
And that's stupid. Like, you're not going to get me to
well, look, Cluck, unfortunately, you have to deal with the fact that we are a group that understands that we are not held to standards that are equal. They're just not, okay? This has been established, and it's only getting worse as we go forward. And it bothers me that you think that's like a conspiracy there, because I don't see how you can argue against it at this point. It's so blatant. Even Bill Maher is like admitting it these days.
Wait. So you think that the fact that they found scant evidence the Jan 6 attack was a result of an organized plot to overturn the presidential election result doesn't mean that there weren't people there that was trying to overturn the election
Well, you
result?
know what? Hey, let me tell you what we're told. Anytime, like, let's say, like a BLM member ambushes cops and murders 5 of them during a BLM rally, the media, you know what they tell us? That guy, he's not associated with BLM. He's not BLM. It was a black male, yeah, and he was at a rally where they were calling for violence, but he's not BLM. It's just one guy. It's one guy out of tons.
What I was saying before you sent this link was that there were people there that wanted to overturn the election, but there were also a lot of people there that were just there to protest. Like,
Right.
What I was saying before.
It was mostly peaceful, right? It was mostly peaceful.
Yeah,
BLM member?
yeah.
Right.
Most of
Have
the
you
people
heard that?
that were-
Have you heard that once from the media? Have you heard that once from them?
I don't. Depends on
No.
which media.
No.
Because
No.
those things you just said- those things that you
The
just
answer is no.
What you want to hear.
No, this thing that you just said from Lawyer literally says that. He said 90 to 95% of these are one-off cases. It says former senior law enforcement officials,
Right.
knowledgeable investigators.
Right.
Then you have 5% of these were a list of groups that were more closely organized.
Right. So we're talking about a handful. We're talking about a handful of people that went a little above the pale. All right, which is highly unusual. Which is highly unusual for the right, right? Because we don't. When we protest, it doesn't go like that.
Because in the same year, we had a whole attempt to kidnap a governor.
Do you? How much do you actually know about that? Let me ask you real quick. No. Hold on, Barracuda, 1 second. Do you actually know anything about that whole case? Did you know? Did you know?
People trying to kidnap the governor.
Did you know that the people who organized and coordinated it were all FBI informants? They literally, there would have not been a plot if not for the FBI. They literally created it and brought in patsies, and there would not have been a plot without them. And this is public record. Here, I'll get it for you.
Okay, so
He doesn't want to do the research. He doesn't want to find out the truth about this. He wants to go, well, his little pea-brain mind thinks it's happening. He doesn't want to find the truth.
Yeah, basically, even Vox admits that there would not have been a plot without the FBI. Yeah, here we go. Hold on, I thought I found it, but I didn't. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got it. It's actually BuzzFeed. There's a Vox article too, but here you go. I'll put it in the chat too. If
Yeah, I found it.
Hey guys, if you're talking to me in chat and I'm not responding, I apologize. I'm really focused on this at the moment, so I apologize. But thanks everybody for being here watching. I haven't streamed much lately, so it's kind of cool to see actually more than a dozen people in here.
I was actually looking forward to talking to you. How you doing?
Oh, I'm really good. Thanks, Barracuda. I'm glad you're here. And anybody else who wants to join us can, by the way. You can just come to Discord. Link's in the description. Yeah, it's good to talk to you. Hold on, let me find the exact line in here right now. Case international headlines, fence for. Here we go. Here we go. I got it. So, let me read this. The government has documented at least 12 confidential informants who assisted the sprawling investigation. The trove of evidence they helped gather, provides an unprecedented view into America's extremism, laying out the often stunning detail of the ways anti-government groups network with each other and blah, blah, blah. An examination of the case by BuzzFeed News also reveals that some of those informants acting under direction of the FBI played a far larger role than has previously been reported. Working in secret, they did more than just passively observe and report on the actions of suspects. Instead, they had a hand in nearly every aspect of the plot, starting with its inception. The extent of their involvement raises questions as to whether there would have been a conspiracy without them.
Just like January 6th.
Right. There's a lot of weird shit like that around January 6th, too.
Taken together, news court paper offered.
I'll be right back, guys. Hey, I'll be right back. I need a beer.
You just literally read what the defense was claiming.
It doesn't matter what the defense is claiming. It is actually what is true.
No, No, it says BuzzFeed News. Dude, it's not the defense. It says BuzzFeed News. It says BuzzFeed News found. Hold on. You're lying. Look, it says Oh, crap. I just lost it. I'm finding it again. 1 second.
Following May, the 1 of 5 defendants in federal case asked prosecutors to be ordered to share more information about this informant.
Hold on.
Their relationship with the FBI and specific roles they played in building the case. It came among
Here.
blizzard of 15 new defense mentioned by the high-profile cases, including requests that move it to a different district to suppress evidence from search warrant and try to at least defend it separately from others. All right, go ahead. What were we saying? Give me a couple of keywords so I can find it in page.
Hold on. I'm trying to find it again. I'm trying to find it again now. 1 second. How did I lose it? I was just reading it. Oh, wait. Oh, here we go. I was on the wrong article. Here. I think I might have given... No, I gave you the right article. It's right here. It's,
you gave me the wrong article, but I already found the one you were reading from. I couldn't read along with you. And,
yeah, it says BuzzFeed News found. It doesn't say defense. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right here. An examination of the case by BuzzFeed News also reveals...
Wait, hold on. What was it?
I just put it in chat.
NA. Oh, I got the link, but what was the words? I'm trying to find where you're
an
at.
examination of the case. Put that in.
Examination.
Hey, Mr. Miami Cuddles. Thanks. Really appreciate it, bud.
Maybe I'm not in the right article. Hold on.
Yes, I will invite anybody and everybody because, you know, it's pretty loose around here, you know. I'm just kind of going with it. I don't really plan it. I don't have time. I have too many kids and screaming.
Before now, do you ever look up things before you run your mouth on things?
He does, but I think not enough.
I mean, you got to read more than one article.
Okay. Let me see.
If anybody's having trouble hearing Liberal Cluck, it's because he's on his phone.
Hold
on, and you know what, guys? I'll be right back. Here, I copy and pasted it in chat, Cluck. You can just like, look for.
I found it.
Okay, I'll be right back. I think I might have torrent open, and it might be hurting the stream. I'll be right back. Man, I'm missing all my UFC fights for this, just so you know. I got them on here.
Okay, so have you read this article all the way where they start talking about what these informants actually did?
Yes, yeah.
So I got one informant. That helped organize a series of meetings around the country where many of the alleged plotters first met one another.
Right.
And
but would any of this ever come together without those meetings, by the way?
Well, no, but you're making it sound like the informants were the ones that were.
No,
like,
I'm not making it sound like.
ideas.
I'm not making it sound like the article is. BuzzFeed News also reveals some of these informants acting under the direction of the FBI played a far larger role than has previously been reported. The extent of their involvement raises questions as to whether there would have been a conspiracy without them. I'm not saying that. BuzzFeed News is.
But if you read what these informants actually did, they didn't go to these groups and was like, "Hey, do you want to kidnap the governor?" They set up meetings and paid for hotel rooms.
Right. Why aren't they doing this with Antifa? Because Antifa definitely wants to kidnap politicians and shit. Where are those? Hey, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quick. It's not really off topic. It is connected, but so no. Listen, real quick. I just want to get your opinion on this. So the GOP baseball game shooting, right? It was a Democrat. Bernie supporter who was incited by the rhetoric from the Democrats and the media at the time about health care, about Obamacare and Republicans opposing it. He went and he tried to assassinate half the GOP Senate. While he was shooting at them, he was screaming, "This is for health care." Okay? Right? Okay? So the FBI at the time said, "Oh, this is just individual violence. There's nothing to it." They let it go. There was no, and if you may remember, there was no, and I made videos at the time asking this, why is there no questions about who incited this? Why is there no questions about where this is coming from? It was just sort of swept under the rug. And it's funny because CNN later did a piece about it where they brought on some of the Republicans, as just one of the Republicans from the game, and they actually put him on the defensive about toning down the rhetoric, which I found astonishing. They brought on a Republican and asked him about toning down the rhetoric when it was Democrat rhetoric and media rhetoric that incited this guy. So the FBI did not call this domestic terrorism. They didn't. It was only recently, within the last, I think, maybe 6 months or so, that Republicans really started to push back on that and saying, why are you not calling this domestic terror? Then they finally quietly, very, very quietly admitted that, okay, yeah, it's domestic terrorism. There was no media. There was no media bombardment about it. Nobody talked about it. It was swept under the rug once again. What do you think about that? Do you think that's odd or weird at all?
No, I don't. Because you're talking about
it's
things
normal.
that happened.
It's normal.
But you're talking about something that happened in 2017.
Oh, you're right. It was a different year than now. So nothing there.
No,
good argument, dude. That's a good argument.
The media has moved on from this. They don't even
right.
talk about January
Of course they
6th
have.
anymore.
They've moved on from that, but they haven't moved on from Trump, right? They haven't moved on from that.
Trump is still holding rallies
Oh, it's different. You're telling me it's different.
September. Yes, because of the reasons that I say they're different. I have reasons why these things are fucking different, John.
Oh, so different. It's so different.
Yes.
Half the GOP Senate was almost assassinated. Let's just move on. It's funny to me that you use the words "move on" because that was a group that was started in the late 90s because of the heat against Bill Clinton. So they started a group called Move On, and it was about, let's move on from this. We don't want to talk about this. Let's move on. And through the late 90s and the early 2000s, anytime Democrats got involved in any scandal, and this is one of the things that really got me into like what I do today, because I started noticing this. I'm like, oh, look at this. Every time Democrat scandal comes up, the media doesn't want to talk about, they use this phrase, move on. Weird. They're saying they want to move on, and look, there's this group called Move On.
Can I play this game real quick?
Yeah.
When was the last time that I saw something about Matt Gaetz sex trafficking children in the news? Don't you think it's kind of weird that the news isn't talking about Matt Gaetz?
But they have been, and they have been a lot when there's actually.
They aren't anymore?
No, they have been, and as far as what I've seen into this, there's not anything to it. If there's something to it, I want Gates to go down for it. I don't really care. I don't give a shit about his party. I don't give a shit about the Republican Party, by the way.
You paid a 17-year-old girl to come to him to have sex.
Supposedly, yeah. And the media has, MSNBC talks about it all the time. Yeah. It's everywhere. When I'm on Twitter, I see it everywhere. Yeah.
What about?
But then there's Chris Cuomo.
Yeah, him too. But what about
which the media loved and adored, right?
Biden?
America's real president. Yeah, Biden has a lot of accusations against him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Biden had one accusation against him.
No. Stop. Biden's had a few. Not to mention, like, the girl, we have him on video, like, literally tweaking a little girl's nipples, and she says to this day that that's exactly what he did. It's on video that he's tweaking a little girl's nipples.
Good for the goose isn't good for the gander, for what y'all say. But where's the proof?
Yeah, where's the proof?
Proof.
Hey, real quick, I do want to thank everybody for hanging out here. I haven't been doing a lot of streams. Maybe we'll start doing this more often. Because, you know what? I got to say, we've been beaten on Liberal Cluck. He's kind of outnumbered here right now. But I will say about Liberal Cluck is that he is not afraid to debate, and he does make some good points. I'll say he does. You know, I will argue that he rationalizes and he does a lot of this bullshit, but I give him props for coming in here and arguing. So anyway.
I appreciate you coming on with me. I'll argue that you're always pivoting and going on to whataboutism, and you can't.
No. See, whataboutism? That's like the hypocrisy thing. No, I'm trying to. You want to enforce standards that are not equal. I want to enforce standards that are consistent, and so I'm trying to force that because you've got it in your brain because of the conditioning in our media that the standards always cut against us, and that the standards are never applied to you. And so I know that you have this in your head.
Dronetek, you always want to take a conversation about a certain topic and turn it into this grand where the media is always, like, it always comes down to
right, because
that.
the media causes the way we even talk about these things. I mean, do you understand the role that they play in all of this? It's a very important role. I mean, I would blame them for just about every problem we have in this country right now. I mean, really, they are. Yeah.
But when we talk about when we talk about a situation, we can go over the fact of the fact statement. But and figure out what's true.
Yeah, but you say that, you say the fact statement, but it's like all we know are the facts that are reported by them.
And they don't report all of it.
They have a long track record of not reporting all the facts. And they lied. They lied about January 6th over and over and over again. Like, why do you just dismiss that?
So the fact that I showed that there was a congressman in the doorway right before
a congressman who was there at that point of that screenshot, who was not there when Ashli Babbitt was shot. Okay, yes, that congressman.
There was 20 seconds in between those two things happening.
No, I don't know that's true. Actually, no, I don't know. There's 20 seconds there between there. The video that I've seen looks cut up. It's cut up, no doubt.
Okay.
I don't know if we've seen the full raw video. In fact, isn't that a thing? Isn't that a thing that we haven't seen a lot of the raw video because they won't release it?
Hold on,
isn't that true? Isn't that true? They won't release.
Wasn't there a guy that Barracuda said was there and took video? You would think that his would be raw, right?
What?
Oh, Barracuda? Is that who's been talking to the old lady?
Old lady.
I can't hear you. What?
The lady that's been yelling this entire time with us. She said that there was a guy there that was there and took video of the.
John Sullivan.
Yeah, John Sullivan. Wouldn't that be raw and uncut?
Well, hold on. Yeah, go ahead. The thing about John Sullivan is, can you show me? And this is a media thing again, and it is. Where is that footage in the media? Where are they showing the footage of him inciting people? Look, hold on. Let me throw this out there. Let me throw this out there real quick. There's part of his video is him trying to destroy things, and guess what? Guess who stops him from doing it? Trump supporters. Yeah, where's that video? Do you see that video in the media?
I can show you examples of rich white kids trying to incite BLM riots, and then black people saying don't do this shit. It's stupid. Like,
wait, what? No, he's not white. He's black.
Huh?
John Sullivan is black.
Is he the guy that you were trying to talk about earlier?
Yes, John Sullivan, the guy that recorded that footage where he's inciting people to violence and where he's trying to destroy stuff, but Trump supporters stop him, and then MSNBC and CNN paid him several tens of thousands of dollars for it.
But like I said earlier, most of the Trump supporters that were there, they weren't enacting violence. They a lot of them actually, because I was there.
Nice,
a lot of them actually left when the break-in started because they didn't want to be a part of it. Because when I got there, when I was on the way, a lot of them were leaving.
Right.
There were still a lot of people there that were trying to get in, and there were still a lot of people inside, and there were still a lot of people that were there that were there for violent reasons.
All right. Well, I think, just like a lot of this stuff, you don't have a lot of curiosity about things that are really like weird and curious, and I think that's because of your own biases, but you might find the same thing with me. I'm not saying that I'm immune to that, but I'm just saying that that's very odd. That's very odd.
Conspiracy coming up in your own head.
Conspiracy? It's not. It's real, dude. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. As far as the stream goes, we can still like hang out, but I'm just gonna wrap it up because I'm starting to lose my voice, and I'm missing all my UFC fights for the night, which is annoying me, and we're getting nowhere. So. What was that?
I was telling Cluck, I'm not an old lady.
You're not?
No. And I wasn't hollering. That's my voice.
Wait, so how do you not know how to post links in Discord?
What? Close links in
She
Discord.
said she couldn't post a video because she didn't know how to post links in Discord.
Oh.
That's what made me assume she was old.
That's my phone. So let me Jack.
Okay, well, I apologize.
How old are you, if you don't mind us asking?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm 50.
Oh, okay. That's not an old lady.
Okay, well, I guess you're only as old as you feel, right?
No, I'm.
Well,
that's definitely not old. That's definitely not old. I'm 42, so.
I'm almost 30, and that's it. And I'm old, so you two are ancient.
How old are you? What did you say? How old are you?
I'm almost 30.
Oh, okay, man, you're just a little baby. See, and I think this is the big problem with the way we're arguing here, because I have a lot more perspective than you do. No offense, I just do because I'm older, and I came up. My obsession with the media started when I was like 11 years old with the Gulf War. Okay, and I saw how the media reported that, and I followed it very intensively all through the 90s up till when Bush Jr. got elected. And so when we went back to war with Iraq, a lot of leftists and stuff were like, oh, he just wants to go to war for oil and all this. But I had to take the position in favor of Bush because I remembered going through the 90s and the fact that, the Americans at the time wanted to finish the job that we had started, and a lot of we had basically been at war with Iraq all those years through the no-fly zone and all this kind of thing. So it just made sense to me that we were going back, and that's just how the media manipulates us. And
the thing is about this media thing that you go on is that it just becomes very convenient when you get in an argument when you can just disregard any type of evidence that somebody.
No, I'm not disregarding it. I'm not disregarding it. I'm just saying, if you have actual evidence, I'm not disregarding it. But if you just kind of say something,
No, but you did though. You did.
Like what?
When
Like
I posted that screenshot and told you that it was like 20 seconds. Now I could have been underestimating. It could have been like 40 seconds to a minute. That whole video is only like a minute and 30 seconds. Where that guy was there, and Ashli Babbitt tried to get through the window. You're just like, well, it's probably media manipulation. It's cut up.
No, my whole point was that she presented no threat, and if you think that she did, then you're being manipulated, and that's proven by. I was showing you the video of the cops. I spent a lot of the time tonight showing people the video of the cops that were in very close proximity, showing that if the cop had arrested her instead of shooting her, that there would not have been like some sort of like mass mob flooding through that window to kill Congress people. Like that's you're creating fan fiction to rationalize what happened. That's all it is.
I posted a video where she's in the window and there's no cop around her.
All right, well, all right, they are, and I showed the video.
Sir, there are multiple videos. Of.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. People are dropping off, and I don't blame you. I'm at the end of my rope on this, but if you want to come hang out with us in Discord, you can do that. The link is in the description. Come and hang out. We'll probably keep talking. I'm gonna keep playing games, watching UFC, and hanging out. If you want to come hang out with us, I thank you for watching, and maybe I'll do some more of these. I don't know. I kind of stopped doing streams for a while, but this was fun. Maybe we'll start doing some more. Thanks as always. Thanks for all of you that have come back and have stuck with me for all these years. Really appreciate it. And have a great night. I hope you have a great night. I hope you enjoyed this little skirmish that we had about Ashli Babbitt. I will go ahead and just claim victory. I think that the facts stand for themselves and that there's a million other things that could have been done instead of murdering her.